the exact scenario, the Cowboys would trade this guy during the regular season at Fish Sports, tweeting, trade Gallup as the wide receiver is going into his final season with the team. Okay, under what circumstances would you trade him, Jeffrey?
If you're having a bad year. I'm trying to think if there's any other scenario.
What if they got into, and the only way I would look at this, if you say the two tight ends started catching more balls. Maybe they were taking him off the field. I know it's a different personnel group, but maybe you have those guys start catching. They get more production out of their two tight ends than they do having him on the field.
I guess I can't see that happening.
Yeah.
So
how about Cedric Wilson jumping up? No,
can't see it happening.
Not either that, yeah.
And that's why I think the difference between the obsession with trading Michael Gallup, I don't get it. Because if he plays well, which you think that he will, and you get to the end of the year, you get to have the end result of the year. You kept all three of your good wide receivers. You tried your best to win the Super Bowl, and then somebody's going to sign him, and you're going to get a pick back for that.
Yeah.
So, for me, it's hard to find the motivation to trade him unless your team is bad.
Yeah, if they're bad and a wide receiver needy team is willing to offer you a 2 or maybe even a 3 that would go in the middle of the third round.
But are you chasing draft picks while you're chasing a division title?
No, I agree with you. The first premise, you would have to be you're 2 and 5. Something like that. Because even 3 and 4, you'd be thinking, guys, we're just a couple of wins away from.
Yeah, well, you made the Amari Cooper trade when you were that same way, 3 and 4, and then yet being 3 and 5, lost the game his first game. I think that you would entertain trading him. And I mentioned about the tight ends, but what if you get the downfield plays from CeeDee Lamb that you usually get from Michael Gallup? Michael Gallup is going to give you the ridiculous catch down the field, and he's going to give you a slant. But what if you get those big chunk plays from CeeDee Lamb?
Sweet.
And but you're not. I mean, the plays that you get from Michael Gallup, those big plays.
I mean, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with whatever the distribution is, as long as they're scoring a bunch of points. I don't know how that would lead any part of my brain to be like, what we need to do? Downgrade the offense.
Yeah.
That would be a great idea.
Yeah, I think the only way I would want to do it is if the season was over. Obviously, if you had key injuries again, and I don't want to say any names, but if you had key injuries and you're like, guys, this is going nowhere. But what if
you did it for a corner?
But if CeeDee Lamb is making a bunch of plays, isn't that a result of the defense having to guard everybody? And an 11 personnel getting all 3 of those guys out there is really going to tax the defense.
The question was, how do you get these? Under what circumstance would you trade CeeDee Lamb? I agree with you. Not CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup. What if you get in a situation where everything on defense is not working out and you have an opportunity to go good player for good player? Yeah, he is going to be one of your best trade chips that you have. Yeah, I'm trying to answer the question.
Thank you.
I get it. You guys don't want to trade him. I get it. But if to answer the question, you have to figure out something that you have to figure out something that'll make you do it.
So there's a scenario that doesn't involve the season essentially being over that you'd still trade him?
Yeah, I think so. I think if he was my best trade piece, and I am maybe my safeties aren't good. My corners aren't good. I'm not liking what Jordan Lewis is doing in the slot. I don't have anybody else that can play the slot. That Brown or whatever. I'm trying to think of how to take the best trade possibility or my best trade piece and get something for him.
Okay, the 806 introduces this idea. Look how deep these wide receiver draft classes are. Why would a team trade for a wide receiver in the last year of a contract instead of drafting? If they are a team that needs a receiver now and they only have one star and then other than that it's pure jobbers, like the Saints from 2 years ago before they traded for what's-his-name from San Francisco.
The Packers last year, you don't think they would have liked to have somebody other than Devontae Adams?
Yeah, how about if we're scoring 33 points and still giving up 53 a game out of the 6-8-2? That's an interesting scenario as well. Yeah. If your defense is just butt and you have more than enough, and Schultz and Jarwin are giving you something from tight end. Cedric Wilson's looking decent. It is interesting to look at some of the other scenarios. I'd be surprised if they did it unless the season was essentially flushed.